Hello and welcome. My name is Nafula. So today I'm going to be talking about social media. Social media has been very important aspect of our lives because we use it to connect with other people, interaction with different people across the globe. But social media can also make you, or if you're planning on coming to the United States, can make you either be denied a visa, be deported at the port of entry, or maybe even your visa revoked. So that's why I decided to talk about this because it's been all over the place. And then there's also new policies that have been set by USCIS about social media where you'll be asked at the port of entry, they can ask for your social media handles and then you have to provide, and then they'll look and see if you posted anything either recently or even 10 years ago, something that can make you a risk or maybe pose a threat to the national security of the United States. So we'll talk about it today. Everybody knows about social media platforms. We have Facebook, Twitter, which is X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We have plenty of them out there, but these are the main ones that I'm going to talk about. If you are looking for a visa to come to the United States, first you should ask yourself, have you ever posted anything that is against the United States as a whole or the president or whatever the United States stands for? You have to make sure that you review that before you even apply for that visa. What are the things that they look for? And then a lot of people maybe will say okay, maybe if they ask me for my social media handles, I can say I don't have Facebook or I don't have any social media when you do, because maybe you deactivated the account or stuff like that. Just know that with the US government, they can access anything. One thing is a facial recognition. Like if you're posting pictures on Facebook, have you ever posted a picture on your Facebook and then it recommends you tag somebody? Actually you just post a picture and then this picture itself, Facebook is able to recognize this person from your image and then ask you if you want to tag that person. What does that tell you? That tells you that facial recognition can be used to identify you from anywhere. So if your image is posted on any media platform or in any social media platform, it will be able to recognize you or any image that looks like you. So don't say I'm not going to provide that information, because one, if you lie, that's they will deny you entry because you lied. So you have to provide those social media handles. So now we have to talk about how to keep yourself safe and clear from immigration. One, let's talk about political. A lot of them, especially a lot of social media issues that come up during immigration, visa issuance, or deportation or your visa being revoked, usually is mostly political. Maybe you're in Africa, maybe you're in Kenya. A lot of Kenyans are very vocal about political stuff in their own country. So for example, in Kenya, maybe you don't like Kasongo, so maybe there's maandamano, you are over there, you're posting pictures of you attending those maandamano, you're carrying stones and stuff like that, you're being over there being, aggressive, breaking stuff, you're showing yourself you're posting pictures of you in a crowd and stuff like that. Those images now, probably they don't have any issue because you've not applied any visas or anything like that. But at some point, images like that will come back to haunt you. Political images, maybe you'll be okay, maybe political images in Kenya, they don't care about, America doesn't care about what happens in Kenya. They do, because if you're very vocal and against the Kenyan president, it means when you come to the United States, chances are very high that you might be also opposed to what the president of the United States is doing, and you might revolt or start some kind of riot about the US government. That's why they know whatever you're doing there, you might come here and apply the same thing. Also, check Facebook maybe during US elections. You'll find you, without knowingly or unknowingly, you post comments about the United States president. Maybe you express a dissatisfaction of the President Trump, or maybe you said something about his leadership. You are in Africa at that time, so you're just saying stuff you didn't even think about. Or maybe you go to his Facebook or his Twitter and then you put nasty comments about the United States president. because you think you're a Kenyan and you think like these things will never apply to you. And then you show up, maybe you provide those social handles, and then they see you posting those comments about the US president. That's going to get you in trouble. Another thing is like maybe, I know like the US embassy, Nairobi embassy, sometimes is very slow in processing a lot of things. Like maybe a lot of people have applied for non-immigrant visas like student visa, visitors visa. The denial rate is very high and people are very dissatisfied. They're very displeased because they're spending all this money, and at the same time all these visas are getting denied. So they're thinking like the US embassy or the US government is trying to rip Africans by making them pay for these services, and actually knowing very well they won't issue those visas. And you are over there, you are tweeting, expressing dissatisfaction about the whole process. You're like, I went to the embassy and this happened, I didn't get the visa and they took my money. And you're very vocal about it on Twitter. And then you start like this Twitter hashtag about the US embassy, and you're saying all these things. They seem so harmless. Maybe they're true. But the fact that you're doing that, if you come at the port of entry and somebody is looking at your Twitter and you tweeted nasty things about the US embassy, definitely you're not getting into the country. So that's what you should be looking at. Other than the political, which is the number one reason why like actually your social media can work against you when you're coming to the United States, is religious beliefs. I know a lot of people have different religions and stuff like that. But certain religions, for example, I'm just gonna, nothing against them, but like Muslims, usually the US associates like a lot of terrorist group with being aligned to a certain religion, which is being Islam. So if you're a Muslim and then you're posting all this stuff about your religion, about how much you're committed to religion, how much you're willing to do anything for your religion and stuff like that. So if you show up at the port of entry or at the embassy for your visa or stuff like that, when they ask for those social media handles and they see stuff like that, they'll be like, hey, this person was expressing very like strong beliefs about the Islamic religion, and if they're associating Islamic religion with terrorists, then they think like you're more aligned to be like you'll pose a risk to the national security. So that's why some things, like as much as like you align to that religion, try to stay away from posting things that suggest that you are willing to do anything for that religion. If you're planning on coming to the United States, if you're not planning on coming here, then you can say whatever you want. But if you're planning on coming to the United States, then that's stuff that you should be looking at. Another thing that can cause you trouble with your social media is issues related to your family. Maybe, for example, you applied for immigrant visa on an immigrant visa, and then on your visa, the way you completed the form, you said, I don't have any kids, I don't have any husband, I don't have any parents or whatever like that. And then on your social media, you're over there posting your children, and you say, happy birthday, my first son. Or maybe, happy birthday, lovely wifey. So you have a wife, but then when you applied for this visa, you said you did not have a wife or you did not have any kids. If somebody looks at your profile or your social media platform, it tells a different story. So if you're planning or you lied on stuff, and then over here on your social media, it tells a different story, that can come to hurt you, because guess what? You lied, and lying to get an immigration benefit, that you can have your visa revoked or removed from the United States or deported because you lied to get immigration benefits. Another thing that concerns the social media that can affect you about the post is like economic stuff. The US can come off as controlling to the other countries because they have the economic power. So when they say, Kenya, you need to do this before we give you any money, Kenya is more likely to do that thing because they want to get the funding. So if you're over there and you're very vocal about telling Kasongo, President Ruto, that do not listen to the United States when they tell you to do stuff, be rebellious, be your own, like Africans, we need to build our own, whatever, you can say all that. But don't post it on social media, because if you're coming at the port of entry, you're telling the Kenyan president to stand against all the foreign control or stop being a puppet to the US government, and then now you want to come to the United States, is going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem with that. So just make sure, like, you know what, with social media, I just came to say, you know, there's so many things about social media that you don't think about when you're posting. Like maybe somebody maybe is killed somewhere, like, you know, by a terrorist group, Al Qaeda or whatever, this other Al Shabaab, whatever, and then you take those images and you post on your social media. Or maybe you start posting things, say Free Palestine or like stuff like that US, you know, is gonna be against. So if you're coming to the United States, I'm just trying to say, like, stay away from posting things that you know can, in the long run, interfere with your either coming to the United States, getting the visa to come to the United States, or being deported and your visa revoked after you're already in the United States. If you have any questions, please type in the comment section below. And also, I'm going to say that I'm not an immigration lawyer. So if you have an immigration lawyer kind of related question, you can direct it to any immigration lawyer. But for any other questions, you can type in the comment section and we will try to answer you. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks for watching.